Let's get physical, August the 21st until the 25th. Do you like JRPGs? Of course you do, that's why most of you are subscribed here. Well, on my other channel, A Bit More Jordan, I did a large video about all the interesting physical JRPGs on the system, so it's good for collectors as well as RPG enthusiasts. Go have a look, do me a favor, check it out. Anyways, this week's releases. Blasphemous 2 is releasing physically in Europe this week. It seems North America has to wait until September for unknown reasons. What's there to say about this? Well, it's the sequel to one of the most lauded indie Souls-like, even if it's side-scrolling. I haven't personally played the original, but I know plenty of people who think it's top-notch, and the developers have spent a lot of time trying to make sure this sequel lives up to the hype. You guys know me by now, I can't be arsed with these type of games anymore, but I'm expecting to see it everywhere in the community spotlight in the next few weeks, especially after it releases in North America. I'm just relieved it's not limited run because they outgrew them, which is nice to see. And our executive producers Alex M, Alexander Cato, Thorn Metal Luna, Dane Wilkinson, Issa, Totally Grateful, God of Resin, and Offbone have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want to order this or any of the other retail releases in this week's episode, check the links in the description, especially if you live in North America. VGP is a really great way to support this series, plus they have nice prices in favourable Canadian money and free shipping worldwide over 80 Canadian bucks. And if you purchase something with our links, you can be in with a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon every week, and this week's winner is Melina C. Congratulations. And also, last week's winner was Tomasz P, our suspected Polish prince. Sorry I didn't announce that last week, but there you go. This week's winner and last week's winner, you should get an email from VGP soon if you haven't already. Loop Hero is releasing at retail this week. You may remember that Special Reserve did this on their website and just about squeezed it out before this retail version. So, what's the difference? I'm not sure, because if it's anything to do with Special Reserve, you need 2 tables, 3 graphs, and a pie chart to explain why they desperately want you to purchase from them and not retail. But all in all, I'm told this is a fantastic game, but it looks a little bit busy for me personally. Chronicles of Two Heroes, Amaterasu's Wrath, is releasing in Europe this week, although it's a Tesura game, so who knows. This looks to be your standard 8-16-bit inspired action platformer. Reminds me a lot of Shinobi, but has a dual protagonist. One a ninja, the other a samurai, and they have different abilities, I would assume. Basically, the jumper and the dasher. They make the finest Uber Eats team in history. It could be alright, but I'm not overly enamored by the trailer. As it's Tesura, there's also a collector's edition available. If you're North American, you want it, VGP will be carrying some European copies, so links are below for that as well. Norn 9 Last Era is the latest but not last Otome this year. This is the fan disc to Norn 9. It includes things around the main story like a prelude, an after story, things like that. It's not like one long story like the original, but snippets of extra stuff. I'm not sure how popular this one will be, but I'm sure fans have already pre-ordered it in either its standard or collector's edition. And our executive producer Feig has chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the Low Prince Castle of Shikigami 2 was finally detailed about its Western release almost straight after my huge imports video, making it instantly useless. Bit of an exaggeration, but yes, it's happening and it's available for pre-order at Red Art Games right now. There are multiple cool editions as well, although I'm not sure they'll be in stock by the time this video goes out, since they were like really low quality, like some had like 300 copies. It's also getting a normal ESRB release, which you can also buy from VGP, and it's shipping next year. Links are below for all of them, with, of course, our discount code for redartgames.com, SWATCH10. And our executive producers, JCross7776 and Instacritic, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Promenade is another release from Red Art Games. It's not called Promenade, I don't know how they want to say it. How do you want to say it, Red Art Games? This is a game that's not out yet. In fact, it's releasing digitally in February, so Yeah, who knows about its quality, but the trailer is giving me nice chill vibes, like an old school platformer, just really sweet looking. Look at it, how adorable it is. Seems to have quite a lot of variety in its gameplay as well, and it's available to pre-order right now, redoutgames.com, in a standard and deluxe edition, which is exclusive to their site, and it's the same price as the normal release, so you might as well get that one. Check the links below, or of course, if you want it from VGP, you can also order it from there. Spellcaster University is Redout Games' third release in this episode. I'm not sure what's going on, but I had to edit this one in as I got a press email on Sunday evening. Was it worth editing into this video late at night? Not really. I mean, it's Fallout Shelter just with a Harry Potter theme, or Idol Manager with wizards and not tsundere anime girls, which means it's obviously not as good. But you know, if you've got a Potter head in the house, I said Potter head, then it might be a good one when it arrives early next year as per usual. Links are below for the exclusive limited version on their website. Post Void is Super Rare's latest game. This is a very highly rated game. It plays like an old school Doom game. If the developers snorted cocaine in the 1970s and then decided, you know what, epileptic people, they don't count. Who cares if people puke, at least they're having fun. And having fun you will as you blast through impeccably wallpapered corridors. There's only 3,000 units available, and quite annoyingly, 1,000 of those are with a Steam box, so I think this will go pretty quickly. It's one of the best games in a long while. Koumajou Remilia Scarlet Symphony is Limited Run's first game this week. This is available to pre-order right now on their website. It's been available physically in Japan for well over a year already by this point, and I know many of you have it already. But what is it? Well, it's a side-scrolling action game that likes to stamp on your balls and poke you in the eye at the same time. And I know that's a fetish for some fellas out there, so if you're a bit of a masochist, this might be the game for you. It's actually part of the Toho franchise, but it doesn't really fit with that mood, at least from the ones I've played. But yeah, you can either order this, or if you want the Japanese version, which is still available, I'll pop links down below for that one as well. Because I would like to take Limited Run's money away from them and into my pocket. Thank you very much. Sword of the Vagrant is Limited Run's second game this week. We knew this was coming, but just as the European version gets sent out, Limited Run put up pre-orders for their North American release. This is a really sweet looking action game that reminds me of something Vanillaware would do. I mean, I do want to know, why do they call them Vanillaware? Like, vanilla is associated with like safe blandness. Like, who buys vanilla ice cream unless it's the only option available? They should have a more interesting flavor. I don't know, like Bananaware. Although that's probably some like men's underwear brand, probably. Melonware? This is more difficult than I thought. Vanillaware it is. Pre-orders open at Limited Run on the 22nd, but if you want the already available European version at VGP, then be my guest with the links below. It has better artwork in my opinion, I like the European one, and our executive producer Jennifer M and Ozgolo chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, it's the import section, Play Asia territory. If you want to import any of the games shown here, then please consider using the Play Asia links below. That's always the #1 way to support this series, so yeah, thank Play Asia for supporting this series for many, many years. Plus, in return for your support, we can support you as well with a tasty 5% off with our code SWTV23. Unreal Life is perhaps the import I'm most excited about this week. This is a slow-paced adventure game that is critically very well received. It's been out on the Switch digitally for a good while, but it seems to have passed me by. Well, luckily I ignored it because the physical is happening in Japan and it's got English. It even has a collector's edition which has a music CD and manga booklet, although it's probably in Japanese. This is about a girl losing her memories and she wants to get it back. All I advise is don't try the local police station. Last time I went there asking for help to retrieve my lost memories, they locked me up and told me to lay off the booze. And our executive producer Cartoon Soren has chosen this as his pick of the week. Kemco RPG Selection Volume 4 is the latest volume of Kemco rapidly trying to catch up with the PS4 before the system becomes obsolete. And it's not even the only one on the horizon because Volume 5 is coming later this year. What took them so long? Anyways, Volume 4 includes Cronus Arc, Bonds of the Sky, Legend of the Tetrarchs, and Monochrome Order, which means if you have the Asian release, the Omnibus, maybe this release is less essential because 2 of those games on there are the same as here, but you gotta have the full set. Don't worry, Volume 5 has completely unique games which makes up for this. And our executive producers Robotech and Vey have chosen this as their pick of the week. Coffee Talk 1 and 2 Double Pack is releasing in Asia this week with English. This was featured in my imports exclusive video because North America was getting the games physically but on separate cartridges. However, that video is now out of date because it's been announced that this double pack is also appearing in Europe, not only Asia. But this is an early version, and it wouldn't surprise me if it came with like a pre-order bonus, but don't quote me on that. These are 2 visual novels that also have drink-making gameplay, so you can feel like a proper barista. Sadly, it's not a proper simulator since you can't guzz into the coffee of the massive prick who bought it. Nor can you go in the back room and cry about being overworked. It's not proper simulation. And our executive producers Punky Dooster, Brent McLean and Parsnip Coffee chosen this as their pick of the week. Japan also has these. Here they are. We have some of them already, some of them we will never get. Alright, the community spotlight. Firstly, me. I picked up Yuoni from Play Asia. Why? Well, because it's cheap enough that I don't get charged import tax by China with their impossibly harsh threshold. But complaints aside, this really is one of the cheapest imports of all time. It's a first-person horror game, not the greatest game ever. I've played it for a little bit so far, and I can understand why it's so cheap. I think it's like less than a tenner on the eShop, so at least it's priced reasonably physically. We all know some other companies who would stick a $35 price tag on this one. But yeah, if you're looking for some cheap horrors in time for Halloween, maybe one to look into. And if you like to collect horror games, then you'll certainly want this on your shelf as well. And if you do want to order it, then check the links below where you can get it there with our discount code, of course. Alright, on to you lot. Robin H sent in this photo of Cobra Kai 2 Dojo Rising. I heard the first game was like half decent for what it set out to do, but I just checked the consensus on the sequel and oh boy, I had no idea it was so badly received. Hopefully it's like had a few patches since launch. Andrew R sent in this photo showing off a big bunch of games, including Tales of the Neon Sea, which still hasn't received a physical release in North America. I know most of Tesura games don't, but I thought that one might. It's a pretty cool game. Executive producer Cartoon Sorensen in this photo showing off a couple of great imports alongside Hyrule Warriors, which, you know, that's really cool. A novel game for the time. I'm not sure why they didn't try it with another Nintendo franchise, well, aside from Fire Emblem. Surely they must have like other ideas. Nintendo Gamer Gal sent in this photo showing off some nice games. Octopath 2, widely considered a big improvement on the already awesome original. Of course, I featured it in my A Bit More Jordan video at the weekend. McLaren sent in this photo showing off Cry Machina. Sadly, this doesn't have English, but I do believe it was announced for a Western release at some point by NIS America. Executive producer Jennifer M brought a tear to my eye with the magnificence of Final Fantasy, and yeah, I agree, I don't like 13 either. Crest sent in this photo showing off some ultra rare releases like Pirate's Curse alongside the Mega Man box set. Man, I wish I ordered that when it was still available for a reasonable price. Wankel Rotary Engine sent in this photo showing off Abyss of the Sacrifice, which very recently was just like 20 bucks at Play Asia, which I think is a bargain. Obviously the gameplay won't be for everyone, but I do enjoy the style. Annibal sent in this photo with the recent reprint of Ikaruga from Nicholas. Brilliant shooter, way too hard for me. Gundam Wing Zero, always showing off his Mega Man progress alongside a cheeky pickup of Super Robot Wars 30, the latest in the series. I can't wait to see what's next. Needless Dragon sent in this photo showing off 3 good games. Love Fatal Frame, and I really hope the 2 ports on the Switch were successful enough to warrant a new game in the series. Come on, Koei, come on, you can do it. Ashura G sent in this photo. They've been waiting a hell of a long time for those Axiom Verge units. It's been like years, right? Literally years. Executive producer Feig sent in this photo of some really nice games. I should probably play like Refrain Chord a bit more. I really enjoyed the few hours that I played so far. Decently made tactical RPG. Not as good as Cross Tales, but still very commendable. Mickey McFlynn sent in this photo with a super obscure import in Brave Dungeon plus Dark Witch combo pack thingy there. Only available at B-Side Games. It does have English. I mean, you can probably get it on eBay right now. Elissa sent in this photo showing off her copy of Sword of the Vagrant, the EU version that's recently started to be sent out. I do like this cover art a lot more than limited runs. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo showing off a range of games, but that top row, wow, it's hard to get any more obscure than that. We almost never see these games here. Not saying that they're rare, it's just like few of you guys actually buy them. And that's it. That's everyone. That's all of the pictures you sent to me. Please send me your pictures on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me, or you can email it to us at switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. And we have a Discord. The server link is below in the description. Please only send me 1 picture per week. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Get Physical. Special thanks, as always, to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Katzo, JCross7776, Punkidusa, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thor Metaluna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa, Vey, Mental Traveler, Offphone, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Play, Kadacha, Ozgolo, Totally Grateful, Alex M, and Feig. Thank you for your support. Plus you, yeah, you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a coffee emoji in honor of all the pricks that get spit nice and juicily in their latte. Please go check out a bit more Jordan. Please go have a look at stuff over there, okay? And if you really want to support me, I do have a Patreon. I do have loads of bonus videos over on there as well. I'm sure you can find it if you look for it hard enough. And yeah, take care. Have a good week. Yes? Yeah.